Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r/slash Tales from Tech Support. In today's episode, the internet is very slow lately. Fine, time to bypass the billing system. For end users, any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. The internet is very slow lately. An old story from my frontline days. I was still really new, maybe 2 months in. ByteWave, welcome to technical support. My name is ByteWave. How may I help you? Customer introduces himself and I make the ID, very polite older gentleman, with what I recognize as a South African accent. Mr. Opoku, I'm sorry to trouble you. This used to be so fast, but the internet is slow now. Quite slow. Is there a problem these last few weeks? I'm already running diags, no loss, 8 to 9 milliseconds pings, pretty clear his connection is fine. Speed test just to be sure. ByteWave, please open your browser, we'll go run a speed test to make sure there's no issue on our end. He agrees and there's a long silence. ByteWave, okay, in the address bar I need you to type www. Mr. Opoku, sir. But there's no address bar yet. It's slow now. Used to be fast. It will take longer for this to open. I chuckle on mute. Normally support ends pretty much here, but he's nice. It's his first call to us ever. And his account dates to the days Canada was welcoming South African refugees at the height of apartheid. I feel like keeping going a little bit. ByteWave, do you know which version of Windows you're running? Mr. Opoku, Windows Me. This may be the only call I remember where the user ran Millennium while his problem had nothing to do with the OS. I err a guess. ByteWave, double-click on my computer, tell me how many drives you see. Yep. Takes a while for that to open too. Mr. Opoku too. Local disk and CD-ROM. ByteWave, local disk. Right-click it, properties, tell me the size limit and how much is used. I swear, we had to wait for the context menu to show up at all. Mr. Opoku, 4096 megabytes. ByteWave, that's your size limit? Mr. Opoku, yes. But also the used space, I believe. ByteWave. Sir, your hard disk is simply full, which is causing your entire computer to function very slowly. It's not a problem on our end. Should have a friend help you free up some space, and your computer will be fast again. Mr. Opoku, is there any way you could suggest to me how to do it myself? Don't have many friends here. ByteWave, we're not supposed to help with issues unrelated to our service. Please understand if you call again with similar issues, the agent will not help you, but let's try emptying your recycle bin in case there's something there. Mr. Opoku, there's a slow progress bar. Very slow. Oh. This is fast now. You fixed it. The internet works. He sounds so genuinely happy, like I magically repaired his broken internet. Still, being a newbie, was kinda happy for a little win. Mr. Opoku, there's quite a bit of space left now. Why was my recycle bin taking so much space on the drive? I quickly explained there were deleted files that had not been purged from the disk, and he thanks me profusely. End of call. 3 days later, my manager wants to talk to me and mentions the customer by name. Yeah, obviously, I'm about to get an earful about the support limit. But as I walk in his office, he hands me a brown envelope. Handwritten with beautiful penmanship on glossy paper, my first customer appreciation letter, with all sorts of praise. You could see it meant a lot to him. Delivered in a 8 1/4 by 11 sized envelope so it wouldn't be folded. There was also money in the envelope which we'd have to return. My boss asked me if I wanted it on the billboard, but I said no, we're not putting pins in this. All of Bytewave's tales on TFTS. Fine, time to bypass the billing system. A short story from years ago, back when my telco's aging billing system acted up something fierce. For 2 days, new entries and updates and unsubscribes weren't getting processed correctly. There was a huge queue on anything we tried to do with it, and systems weren't getting anywhere fixing it. After 2 days of controlling damage with endless call queues, I'm starting to think about just solving it. Countless employees were paid insane overtime to deal with the call flow, and all attempts to fix the problem actually increased the impact at first. Boss, well, what can we do? It's the billing system, gotta power through till they fix it. Bytewave, or not, I have a crazy idea. Grand scheme, it's just a billing system, right? I call systems. On hold for almost 15 minutes, they're swamped. Systems. How may I reset your password or did you reboot? If you're calling about the billing system, no ETA. Bytewave, Gregory. Good. We've been swamped for 2 days with this, I'm pitching in here, bear with the crazy. What if we just bring it down temporarily? It works on a blacklist basis, deny service to anyone who isn't granted access. It was made this way to minimize impact in a bind, if I recall correctly. So in theory, if we just bring it down. Gregory, Bytewave, that's borderline insanity. Would mean anyone who plugs in a cable box or a modem in our cable network gets the default services package until we sort this out, and it's generous. Bytewave, and unless you think this will last weeks, we care why. As opposed to 366 calls waiting and 95 people on overtime right now? It's not like we need to go on the news and tell the country they get free cable. 25 people on geeky subforums will figure it out, sure. Gregory, above my pay grade, but you might be onto something. Boss. Line 4. Bytewave from senior staff, wanna take this one. And so I pitch my crazy idea, just disabling the whole billing system. It was after all built so service would keep working if it failed. Isn't it exactly what's been happening over these crazy last 40-ish hours? The CYA is still strong though, but the idea gets escalated all the way up real quick. Nobody gives me an answer until a systems email is sent to the entire company. Systems notice, billing systems down for maintenance for undetermined amount of time. All customers under default provisioning in the meantime. Please note this means on-demand services will remain offline, and most customers will have access to more channels and greater internet speeds than they are used to, and that data usage is unmonitored for the duration. It took them 3 more days to fix it, during which time anyone who got his hands on cable and plugged in compatible equipment was getting service for free, but more importantly, call queues died almost immediately. Almost all the calls we got during this time were now about video on demand, which was down due to lack of billing, but that was peanuts compared to the losses we were incurring previously. A week later I got due praise. Boss, you took down the billing system and it somehow paid off. I'm glad you're union staff, I would not want to have salary negotiations with you. Bytewave, now that you mention it, according to 24.28c, management is entitled to go above the indexation and tiered pay raises at their discretion when required to retain or reward key staff. Boss, nice try. We both know you're not going anywhere. He had a point there. And I had already gotten a bonus raise this way once before, which is more than most could say. All of Bytewave's tales on TFTS. For end users, any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. I'm friends with my department's secretary at my telco, we have lunch and gossip often. Professionally, I rarely have to see her for anything, but I noticed she was struggling with all the multitasking she had to do on a single panel to boot. Landscape seemed awful for most of her work. Single panel is frontline stuff. I got 3 screens and I need every square inch. She's one of the good gals who moves heaven and hell to keep things running smoothly. Didn't feel okay. Ordering equipment isn't my job as senior staff, but there's always a way. The usual trick is to put in a replacement form instead of an order form, then there's never any questions asked. Gotta write in a reason for request, but they don't even ask names if you have access to the software. Flag anything as priority and they check nothing. Department secretary requirement, priority, more than enough. After the request was flagged as in process, I left an old broken 4:3 17-inch detritus in a corner of her office. Hey, it's a replacement. Tiny bit later, a brand new Dell U2412M Ultrasharp comes in and systems install it despite her being a bit confused and leave with my trash. I drop by soon after. Bytewave, new screen, huh? Natalia, oh, it's great. Lots of room to work. I'm not sure how I got this. I look at her screens. Oh my god. Both landscapes, half the screen's wasted given her work. She'd clearly work best with portraits half the time. Secretaries are all about walls of text. Bytewave, we can do a little better. I casually flip the new U2412M on its rotating axis to make it portrait. Then she looks at me like I'm some kind of alien. Natalia, how is this even possible? Bytewave, try it, I'm sure you'll love it soon. She was more grateful for me flipping the screen than she would have been had she known I arranged the order. She loves it now. Never told her, it's fun to help out without claiming credit once in a while. All of Bytewave's tales on TFTS.